All right, YouTube, this is the second video in the Runick series. It's going to be another 2 games. First one was just put up not too long ago. If you want to see those games, definitely check them out. This is probably the most fun deck I've ever played. I don't want to say ever played, but it's probably my favorite deck. My favorite monster is Eldlich, and my favorite archetype is Eldlich. And Eldlich is just not super competitive right now, so I'm kind of looking for the best way of playing it. And I know Horus Engine is an option. I don't know why I'm not a big fan of Horus. I don't know why. But I really do like this, and I just must be a really toxic motherfucker. Okay, I probably should bleep that. I am just really toxic, I guess, like naturally, because I gravitate towards control decks, and everybody hates control decks. I don't know why. But yeah, that's where we're at, and let's get on to the first recording. I think this is Runick versus a crappier version of Runick something else. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was weird. And it was a pretty good game if I recall correctly. All right, looks like I go first. I summon my Hugin effect, get rid of Conch, so I can grab my Runick Fountain. Activate Fountain, and then I pass my turn, set Sanguine with Conch. No point in setting a second Sanguine. He goes Runick Slumber into his Hugin, and then I hit Hugin with Freezing Curses, and then he Fusion Summons. This is where I was like, what? This threw me off. So he's Earthbound Fusioning into a Dark Monster. And it was a Predaplant Dracostapelia, which, lucky for me, I don't give a crap about. It's a good card, but most of my monsters do not care about Dracostapelia. Or at least most of my deck doesn't care about Dracostapelia. I hit his Runick Fountain with Runick Destruction, which is... I just got really lucky with that draw, I guess. And then he tips to protect it. His Runick Fountain hadn't finished resolving its on-field activation before he used tip, so he doesn't get any draws because it wasn't on the field technically while tip activated. So neither of us get any draws. Then he used Earthbound Fusion, Banish effect to get Earthbound Prisoner, Line Walker. I don't know jack shit about Earthbound cards, so don't be mad if I have no clue what he's doing. End phase, summon Eldlich so that I can use Sanguine second effect next turn. Go into SP banish Runick Fountain because that's way more of a threat to me right now. He Dragostapelias into my SP Little Knight, but luckily SP has a second effect to banish itself and another monster, so it dodges Dragostapelias, and it gets rid of Dragostapelia, so I don't have to worry about it for this turn. Banish Sanguine to set Conch. Just so everybody's aware, because I made this mistake a few times, because I keep forgetting. You have to set your cards main phase 1 with Runick, especially if you use a Runick effect, because if you use a Runick effect, you skip your battle phase and main phase 2. It just ends. So you have to declare battle phase if you want to attack the next battle phase. So you have to do all of this, so don't forget that stuff if you want to play this deck. That is very important. I made that mistake many times. All right, and this is actually something I didn't know. He was just able to use Dragostapelia effect again as soon as it came back. So that was like, oh, okay. I guess SP's useless now. She can't use her effect. This is where it got really weird. So he summons Vision Resonator. I have no clue what deck he's cooking, but apparently he be cooking in the kitchen because that is an odd, just odd, I'll just say. But unfortunately for him, I had Solemn Strike, and I strike the Barone. And now the Dragostapelia is off the field. SP Little Knight activates to banish his Earthbound Prisoner, Line Walker, just because I don't want him to have a body on the field. He grabs Crimson Gaia, which is never going to resolve, bud, because I have Conch and Elixir. Unless he has Ash specifically, that is not resolving. And he does not have Ash, so I summon Conch, go to pop the Gaia, and he knows it's pretty much game over at this point. Yeah, he had absolutely zero gas. My Eldlich engine was going to keep me in the game. When I start drawing into Runick cards, I would really start gaining advantage. I have a set fountain. He has no fountain. I disrupted his board and exhausted all of his cards. And then it was going to be my turn to draw. Eldlich again, just a ton of, it's just an advantage engine. So I would just be able to keep going. Well, he would just be, like, combo players generally run out of gas a little bit quicker. Which, I know this is a Runick variant, but it seemed more combo oriented than Eldlich. So... Alright, and this is Runelich Verse Super Cash, which would be Super Heavy Samurai Cash Tira. Go Runick Destruction into Yugioh to get rid of my Hawk to grab Fountain. And I pretty much just, I have no Runick cards, so somebody might be like, why are you doing this? Mostly because Yugioh was already on the field. I don't care to have Hawk in my hand. So I was like, Hawk can set me Sanguine to get me Eldlich, and Yugioh is protection for your back row. So it just made sense to do it. He goes Fenrir, and I strike that Fenrir because I don't want him getting any other cards, any cash cards. Of course, he had Pot of Prosperity because they just always have the cards they need literally every time. So then he goes into Unicorn, which is going to be a fatal mistake for him because as soon as Unicorn hits the field, well, not yet. I'm waiting for him to use Theosis, but he doesn't. He uses Birth. So he goes Birth, I goes, and he has no target, so it fizzles. He goes Unicorn, he's going to start banishing my extra deck. He got rid of SP Little Knight first, which is a good hit. That's a good hit. Eldlich in the end phase, again, so I can set up its next effect next turn. Set my Hawk, banish, set Golden Land. And now that would be like, if I'm not going to use this on Unicorn, I'll use it on like a power spell. Like if Unicorn got removed and he tried using Birth, that's when I would conk to blow it up because Birth is like their most important card now. But yeah. So he's again had another pot. Pot of Prosperity needs to be a 1. Like, let's be honest here. Grab Soul Piercer, can't do anything with it. Banishes another one of my extra deck monsters, which is Yugioh, another decent hit. And now I have Skill Drain, so it's literally, it's game over, dude. Like, it is completely game over. He's not, unless he somehow removes that back row, it's never going anywhere. It's funny, I've had games, it is funny. I think I record the grind games longer than I record the non-grindy games because most of these games, Eldlich has controlled the field completely with its floodgates and its, its engine. But I'll tell you what, a lot of games where I haven't recorded, Runick pops off and absolutely decimates. So it's funny that I don't have those games recorded, probably because they were so fast. I'll have to see if I can get some more where Runick shines a little bit more because I promise you, 20 cards in this deck are Runick cards. So I don't know why I keep drawing Eldlich cards. When that happens, like if I have Fountain on the field and I keep drawing into Eldlich, I get pissed. Like, it's bullshit. All right, and the reason I did that was so I could clear the board, so I could summon Eldlich while I was bigger. And then whatever, he had another freaking Unicorn. So then he bursts. He tries to birth into another Unicorn so he can get 2 level 7s on board. I don't think he has an extra deck monster left that he could go into, like an Xyz, so I don't know why he was doing that. But I just popped the birth anyway. Set the Sanguine. I have another Conk in hand, so it's like... And I draw a Fountain. Like, literally, these draws, other than the skill drain, have been like the worst draws I could have gotten. The fact that this guy didn't leave blows my mind. Like, what are you doing? I have a Gozen, a Skill Drain. He's used 2 pot of Prosperities. I assume looking for back row removal. He's probably running like Cyclones, Twin Twisters, something to just remove back row. He just has not found it. And I haven't found any of my advantage engine at all. So he goes into Race Soft. I have another conch. I pop the Race Soft. I don't want him to get in searches. Set another conch. It's just funny at this point. Like, finally I draw into something I can use. Slumber on the Eldlich. Banish some of his cards. Runick. Get 2, because I believe I had another Runick card in there. And I just go end phase. I could tip into some kind of destruction, but I'm going to wait until it's his turn so I can then draw another 3. He goes battle to destroy Eldlich. I don't know why. Dispelling into Moonin. Runick tip. And then I believe... Did I shuffle that? I did. Oh, okay. Well, anyway. I don't know why I shuffled 2 instead of using destruction on something. Maybe I was just saving it just in case. Since I have conch, so I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyway, he tries ashing. I just saw him strike the ash because I really want to draw. Moonin's a mandatory activated effect. That's why you'll see that activate every turn. Now, I did that backwards. I should have Smiting Storm first, because then I would have been able to banish 4 instead of 3. So, just for your purposes. And I do this to draw 2, because I have another fountain, so I can draw even more. I can draw 4 this turn. I mean, look at this. Now, this is what happens when Runick takes off. I needed a single Runick card, and this is what happened. With Fountain in line, I have Freezing Curses, which is useless right now because Skill Drain is on the field, so I don't even need the Freezing Curses. I have Destruction, and I have Tip. So if Runick actually starts taking off, the game is over. He tribute summons for Nibiru because Nibiru is big. I can't believe he hasn't left at this point. So I tip into Slumber. Yeah, and then Eldlich can't be destroyed by battle. I could have probably, I don't know why I didn't just get a Flashing Fire. Maybe because I just wanted to banish all of his shit. but yeah, this deck is pretty... The turns are a long time, because unless you really work out when to kill somebody, like the Eldlich engine doesn't end the game very fast alone, and especially Runick doesn't. Runick's whole gamble is to deny resources to your opponent while you gather them. So that can take this took 14 turns. So if you're looking for fast games, this probably isn't the deck for you unless you're looking for surrenders, because a lot of the times as soon as somebody sees a Runick or Eldlich, they quit. Especially when they see both, they just quit, which I find hilarious, to be honest. But yeah, that is Runick series, second video in the series. I will get out a deck list here pretty soon. And then, yeah, like, subscribe, and comment if you like this video, if you want to see more like it. And yeah, we'll go into the deck list here in a little bit. See ya.